faith conversations. So let's just begin by thinking about the idea itself. Here we go. Why faith conversations matter. So, in a world filled with questions and uncertainty and a variety of ways of approaching truth and reality, and a whole hodgepodge of differing beliefs and conversations about faith can feel daunting. And too often we assume that sharing our faith means having all the answers or engaging in debates to prove that we're right. It has a kind of aggressiveness attached to it. But what if faith conversations were not about winning arguments? What if they were about building relationships or fostering understanding and pointing others to the deep, unshakable love of God? What if you were just encouraging someone else along with you to go on a journey where you're not coming from the perspective of having all the answers, but are yourself a seeker? So during this course, that's the way we're going to look at it. That's the invitation that we're going to offer. We're not seeking to defend a fortress of doctrines, but to explore the beauty and the depth of the Christian faith in ways that connect to real life. So a faith conversation is about meeting people where they are, just as God meets us where we are. The key is this: 3 words: learn to listen. Learn to listen. And then to ask good questions. And then to share our own stories authentically with gentleness and respect. Throughout history, Christians have shared their faith not by overpowering others with logic, but by embodying grace and love and hope. And the first session is going to target Acts chapter 17. It's a remarkable chapter. Have a look at it just by way of beginning this. The Apostle Paul, he's standing before the Athenians. He's never been there before. And he is upset because of the range of religions he sees on offer before him. As a good Jew, you might say, as a good, stalwart member of the people of God, as a Pharisee as he was. But he's standing before these people burning with the ideas of Christ, the love of God in Christ, this relatively new understanding of reality that he's come into. But he doesn't tear down their beliefs. Instead, he builds bridges, starting with what they already knew and gently pointing them to the God in whom we live and move and have our being. Isn't that a remarkable phrase? He's inviting them to share the journey that he is presently upon. And he widens the perspective of who God is and what it's like. He calls this whole reality. It's like he's saying God is another word for reality. So let me share the way I see reality. It's almost as if he's acknowledging where they come from. Do you see how this can connect with where we are right now? In fact, do you know, I have the idea that Acts 17 has a key principle to teach us in apologetics that's found perhaps nowhere else in the Bible. Well, read it and prove me wrong. Okay. So, like Paul, we're in a place where there's a whole range of religions and non-religions and different beliefs all around us. And like Paul, we are called to enter into conversations, not with fear, not with defensiveness, not with our fists up, not with our anger on display, but with an openness and a willingness to engage in the sacred space of someone else's story. That requires grace. So this course introduces the basics of Christian apologetics in a certain way, in an accessible and a relational and a holistic way, emphasizing love and grace and dialogue, not debate. And it invites participants to engage deeply with their own faith, to go deeper into yourself, and then to learn to come from that place authentically to other people in the wide world around us. So we have 5 sessions together to equip us for meaningful faith conversations. And together we'll explore the art of listening and the power of questions and the heart of the gospel itself and the relevance of faith in a modern world. And along the way, we discover that apologetics is less about being a defender, more about being a witness, a living testimony to the transforming love of God. And as we embark on this journey, remember, you don't have to have all the answers. This is a journey, not a destination. And the goal is not arrival, it is journey. It's connection. It's not perfection. It's not about being impressive, not about winning arguments. It's about being present, about being truthful, about who you are and what you really know of God. And God works through our journeys. God works through our questions, through our struggles, through our doubts, through our imperfect words to reveal truth and love in ways that we cannot imagine. And we're emphasizing here that apologetics is much less about defending a system of belief and more about embodying the love of Christ in every interaction. And participants are encouraged to live out their faith in ways that inspire curiosity and invite relationship. So let's step into it together. Open hearts, open minds, ready to explore how I can faithfully and authentically engage with people around me, people at the bus stop, people in my school, people in my office, those who come into my orbit. And I have to be at least as interested in them as people as they are in their questions with what I have to say. Right? And the conversations that we have, grounded in love, grounded in humility and grace, just might change lives. But one of the lives it's almost certain to change is our own. We have to be ready to listen. And maybe God is speaking to us first. Okay, I'll see you in session 1.